Multiplayer games are fun, but nothing beats getting totally lost in a game with an amazing story. Whether it's epic adventures, unforgettable characters, or jaw-dropping plot twists, single-player story games have a way of sticking with us. And since we are already halfway through 2024, I think it's the perfect time to talk about some of the best single-player games ever made that we can still play in 2024. Remember, this list is in no particular order. With that said, hit the like button and let's start with the first game on this list. God of War is hands down one of the best games ever made. Whether you talk about story, gameplay, visuals, characters, or the combat, everything is simply top-notch. The game takes you through Norse mythology as Kratos, a once furious god trying to be a dad to his son, Atreus, while facing the consequences of his past actions and, well, taking on the mighty Norse gods. What hooked me the most was how the game balances action with heartfelt moments. Kratos and Atreus aren't just characters, they're a team learning from each other while facing incredible dangers. But besides the bonding and the story, the combat in this game is the best I've ever experienced. It feels so real and gritty, with Kratos swinging his axe and Atreus helping him with a bow as they take on enemies in epic battles. If you haven't experienced it yet, trust me, it's a journey you won't forget. Number 2. A Plague Tale series. Plague Tale series holds a very special place in my heart, and I really think this game is underappreciated. I remember the first time I dove into A Plague Tale series, a gripping tale that had me hooked from the very beginning. Both the first part, Innocence, and the more recent, Requiem, are nothing short of masterpieces in storytelling, world building, and even the stealth-based gameplay. It revolves around the tragical journey of Amicia and her brother Hugo, as they try to survive the dark and treacherous landscapes of medieval France, plagued by the Black Death and hunted by the soldiers.
What?
The bond between Amicia and Hugo is so beautifully portrayed that you can't help but root for them every step of the way. I really recommend you play both of these games in sequence. You will know exactly why I love this series so much. Number 3. The Yakuza series. I have played a ton of action adventures and RPGs in my life, but I've never had an experience much like the Yakuza series. Every game brings something new and exciting to the table, but what I love the most about the Yakuza series is its ability to blend serious crime drama with moments of pure absurdity and heartwarming camaraderie.
You in, Adachi-san? About going up against a guy even the police are scared of? My detective instincts are telling me, hell yeah.
This game really knows how to keep you hooked from start to finish, without ever making you feel bored. You can brawl with thugs using dynamic fighting styles, pick up weapons, and even manage a cabaret club or race model cars. Each activity not only deepens your connection to the story, but also enhances your character's abilities. You are free to do things your way, whether you decide to dive into the main storyline or take a break to play arcade games or belt out karaoke. Yakuza keeps you hooked with its rich blend of action, humor, and cultural exploration. There are 8 games in total. If you want to get the full story, start with Yakuza 0. But if you want to get a taste of it, before making this commitment, go with Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't know about you guys, but I think Witcher 3 is the best RPG out there, and for very good reasons. As soon as you step into this game, you can't help but fall in love with the game's environment. It has created a world that feels alive, with people going about their day and stories unfolding around every corner. You play as Geralt of Rivia, this brooding monster slayer on a journey to find Ciri. Unlike most games, Witcher 3 doesn't push you to follow a certain path. You are completely free to pave your own as you navigate a stunning open world filled with diverse landscapes and gruesome monsters. My favorite part still remains the combat. It's fast-paced, intense, and a heck of a lot fun. But it really is depth of storytelling that makes The Witcher 3 stand out. It's not just about completing quests, but about exploring the consequences of your actions, combining political intrigue, moral dilemmas, and complex relationships. Speaking of player choices and consequences, I don't think any other game does it better than Detroit Become Human. This game throws you in future Detroit, where androids are as common as smartphones, but they're starting to think for themselves. The game lets you play as Connor, Kara, and Marcus, each with their own unique story and tough choices to make, which ultimately leads to different outcomes. The story in this game is more thought-provoking than some of the best Hollywood movies. What's cool is how your choices lead to different endings, and that made me play the game again and again, just to see how things could have gone differently.
If we want freedom, we need to have the courage to ask for it. That's the only way.
If you're into games that make you think about technology, ethics, and the future, Detroit Become Human is a must-play. It's an experience that'll have you questioning what it really means to be human. If you love deep stories and making tough decisions, you have to give the Walking Dead series a try. Based on Robert Kirkman's comic, this game throws you into a post-apocalyptic world set in Georgia. But it isn't about smashing zombies, it's about Lee Everett, a guy with a past who becomes a protector and father figure to Clementine, a young girl in desperate need of guidance. The game's all about choices. Do you save someone or let them fend for themselves? Every decision you make affects how the story unfolds and how Clementine grows up. And man, those choices are tough.
Pull up and go mad when they believe their life is over.
In the road!
The game pulls you in with its graphic novel art style. It's not just about survival, it's about forming bonds with other survivors, each with their own story and moral dilemmas. It's a pure story-driven game where your choices shape the whole journey. Now, if you are looking for a post-apocalyptic game where you do more than just making choices, you have to play The Last of Us. This game takes you into a post-apocalyptic nightmare where humanity struggles against a mutant fungus that turns people into deadly creatures. You play as Joel, a survivor who's tasked with escorting Ellie, a young girl immune to the infection, across a ravaged United States. Joel and Ellie aren't superheroes, they're ordinary people trying to survive and find hope in a hopeless world. As I played, I felt their struggles and the weight of their decisions. The game challenges you to think about what you would do in their shoes, facing moral dilemmas and tough choices that shape their fate. The gameplay is pretty intense as well, mixing brutal combat with stealth and strategic choices. You'll scavenge for supplies, craft weapons and gear, and navigate through hostile environments filled with infected and desperate survivors. Number 9. What Remains of Edith Finch, an indie title with a brilliant story. In this game, you step into the role of Edith Finch, exploring her eerie family home in Washington state to uncover the tragic tales behind each family member's untimely demise. Playing from a first-person perspective, you'll wander through the Finch house and its surroundings, interacting with objects that reveal truly tragic stories of each deceased relative. The game's premise revolves around a supposed family curse that leads to bizarre and often tragic deaths. As Edith, you document these stories for her unborn child, delving deep into the family's history while confronting your own mortality. The narrative unfolds with gripping detail, blending stunning visuals, haunting atmosphere, and top-notch voice acting that enhances the emotional impact of each character's fate. Baldur's Gate 3 is a very special game that brings the thrill and challenge of Dungeons & Dragons to life with a compelling storyline and awesome characters. It can't be a little challenging to get into as a beginner, but if you manage to understand the game mechanics, you will find this game extremely rewarding. What makes Baldur's Gate 3 shine is its deep narrative driven by your choices and, well, dice rolls. Every decision you make, from forging alliances to battling enemies, these decisions shape not only your own destiny, but the fate of the entire world around you.
We will deal with the Gate after we escape.
The game's cinematic experience is top-notch, boasting over 174 hours of cinematics, brilliant voice acting, and memorable characters that you can actually get into relationship with, and it can be more than platonic. Number 11. Alan Wake 2. This is a nostalgic hit that is so worth replaying, especially if you're a fan of survival horror. Alan Wake 2 masterfully blends eerie storytelling with intense gameplay. You'll switch between two protagonists, Alan Wake and FBI Special Agent Saga Anderson, each with their own thrilling storylines and unique mechanics. For me, the detective elements in Alan Wake 2 really shine, offering a fresh twist with features like Saga's mind place and Alan's writer's room, where you'll connect clues and alter the story.
The killer left the heart right next to the body.
The narrative is engaging without being overwhelming, providing just enough intrigue to keep you hooked without giving away too much. Disco Elysium is another indie gem that shouldn't be missed. In this game, you assume the role of an amnesiac detective named Harry in the fictional city of Rivakal, a place still reeling from a failed revolution. With its unique oil painting art style and an evocative soundtrack, the game offers a hauntingly beautiful atmosphere as you unravel a complex murder mystery. The gameplay of Disco Elysium is unlike any other RPG, with minimal combat and a strong emphasis on dialogue and skill checks. You'll navigate through environments, making decisions influenced by 24 skills that shape Harry's personality and abilities. The innovative thought cabinet system allows you to manage Harry's ideologies and traits, leading to internal debates that affect the storyline. If you love indie games with innovative gameplay mechanics and a great story, this is it. Number 13. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima has taken the gaming world by storm, but we are getting some mixed reactions lately. And well, that is to be expected. But I really love this game, I think it's brilliant. It's an epic samurai adventure where you get to be the ultimate badass, Jin Sakai, defending Tsushima Island from a Mongol invasion. It looks absolutely gorgeous with a vast open world that you can travel on foot or horseback, slicing through enemies with your katana in epic showdowns or sneaking around like a ninja to take out bad guys without breaking a sweat. The combat is super fun with different fighting stances for different enemies, and you get to unleash some serious samurai skills.
That's the last of them. It's over.
And you get to do all that cool stuff, all while learning about your identity and the choices that you have to make to save your people. Ghost of Tsushima remains a standout single-player experience thanks to its breathtaking visuals, compelling storyline, and engaging gameplay. Number 14, Nier Automata. Nier Automata is that mind-bending rollercoaster of a game I didn't know I needed. Released in 2017, this game is all about these android warriors battling against creepy machines on Earth in the distant future. It's got this mix of action-packed combat where you hack and slash your way through enemies, and deep RPG elements like leveling up and customizing your android's abilities with these cool chips. But what really sets Nier Automata apart is its storytelling. It's not just about the battles, it's about digging deep into themes like consciousness, identity, and the true cost of war. And get this, there are 26 different endings depending on your choices throughout the game. Yup, 26. It's like playing through a bunch of different stories within this massive, seamlessly open world. Critics loved it, gamers adore it, and it's no wonder. It's like the ultimate blend of action, philosophy, and sheer gaming innovation. Number 15, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Uncharted series has left a huge mark on the gaming industry and our hearts. And while I enjoyed most of the games in this series, I really want you guys to play Uncharted 4. It's the final chapter in Nathan Drake's saga after the events of Uncharted 3. You're back in control of Drake, joined by his thought-to-be-dead brother Sam and the ever-reliable Victor Sullivan on a quest to uncover the legendary pirate treasure of Henry Avery. The gameplay here is a mix of heart-pounding action with challenging puzzles and intense shootouts. It's got everything from sneaky stealth takedowns to heart-racing chases across breathtaking landscapes. From the very start, I was hooked by the game's cinematic presentation and the depth of its characters. If you're looking for an epic adventure that's as fun to play as it is to watch, Uncharted 4 is a treasure worth discovering. Red Dead Redemption 2. This shouldn't surprise anyone because RDR2 is nothing short of a masterpiece when it comes to, well, pretty much every aspect of gaming, including the story. It's historically accurate and full of emotions and moments that stay with you for years.
Only the feeblest of men take jobs in the government.
You step into the boots of Arthur Morgan, an outlaw and member of the Van der Lindengan, as they struggle against the decline of the Wild West, facing government forces, rival gangs, and other threats. It's not just the quest that progresses the story, every interaction paints a clearer picture of that time. In this game, how you treat people matters. You can be good or bad to them, and that affects how they treat you back. And let me tell you, these NPCs do know how to hold a grudge. There's a good chance you've already played this game, but if you haven't, you are missing out on a real gem here.
They are goddamn cowards, Arthur. Cowards.